The controversial comedy The Interview has opened in some U.S. cinemas and online, after a cyber attack and threats to moviegoers over its release. Sony Pictures had originally pulled the film, about a fictional plot to kill North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. But it reconsidered after critics, including the U.S. president, said freedom of expression was under threat. Some cinemas organized midnight showings for Americans determined to see The Interview on the big screen. Several hundred independent cinemas across the U.S. have come forward offering to show the title after larger cinemas decided not to screen it following threats. Lee Peterson, manager of Cinema Village in New York, told Reuters news agency it was a matter of principle to show the film. Obviously we would like to make money from the movie, as we would with any movie, but it's important to take a stand about freedom, freedom of speech, freedom to see movies. The film is also being offered through a dedicated website and via Google services YouTube and Play, and Microsoft's Xbox video platform, but only in the US. A spokesman for Sony told the BBC the release was US only at this point. Sony Pictures initially pulled the film after suffering an unprecedented hacking attack at the hands of a group calling itself the Guardians of Peace. Last week, the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, said its analysis pointed the finger at North Korea. However, many cybersecurity experts have come forward to dispute this assertion. North Korea denied being behind the attack but described it as a righteous deed. The hackers threatened to carry out a terrorist attack on cinemas showed the film on its scheduled release date of Christmas Day. After many cinemas pulled out, Sony cancelled the release. That move was described by President Obama as a mistake. Reaction in tweets. Maximus Clean, I loved The Interview and thought it was at Seth Rogen and at James Franco's finest movie yet. Good job. Kira Craig, just watched The Interview, pretty hilarious movie. Would expect nothing more from Seth Rogen and crew. Amy Sanchez, exercising my right as an American by watching The Interview at James Franco at Seth Rogen Merry Christmas. Deanna Sealteal, The Interview was not worth the hype. Funny, but not worth the stress and aggravation that came along with it. Dan Field, Sony shouldn't have ever released The Interview, not because of the threat, but because the movie is terrible. Aditya Basrar, just watched The Interview. What a waste of money. Expected the movie to be much better. Viewers react to seeing The Interview. Sony chairman Michael Linton said digital distribution had now been chosen to reverse some of that damage. It was essential for our studio to release this movie, especially given the assault upon our business and our employees by those who wanted to stop free speech. We chose the path of digital distribution first so as to reach as many people as possible on opening day, and we continue to seek other partners and platforms to further expand the release. In a blog post announcing its involvement, Google's top lawyer David Drummond said the firm had weighed up the potential fallout. Last Wednesday Sony began contacting a number of companies, including Google, to ask if we'd be able to make their movie The Interview available online, Mr. Drummond wrote. After discussing all the issues, Sony and Google agreed that we could not sit on the sidelines and allow a handful of people to determine the limits of free speech in another country, however silly the content might be. The Interview saga. The Interview features James Franco and Seth Rogen as two journalists granted an audience with Mr. Kim. The CIA then enlists the pair to assassinate him. November 22, Sony computer systems hacked, exposing embarrassing emails and personal details about stars. December 7, North Korea denies accusations that it is behind the cyber attack, but praises it as a righteous deed. December 16, Guardians of Peace hacker group threatens 9/11 type attack on cinemas showing film, New York premiere cancelled. December 17, leading U.S. cinema groups say they will not screen film, Sony cancels Christmas Day release. December 19, FBI concludes North Korea orchestrated hack, President Obama calls Sony cancellation a mistake. December 20, North Korea proposes joint inquiry with U.S. into hacks, rejected by the U.S. December 22, North Korea suffers a severe internet outage, U.S. authorities decline to comment. December 23, Sony bosses appear to change their minds, saying they will now give the interview a limited Christmas Day release. December 25, the interview is shown in some U.S. cinemas and released online.